The karting helmet inspired by the design of Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, even Senna.
You come from the world of hotel industry. Do you see any connection with the world of the motorsport?
Sometimes Stefan and I, we look back and we say, we don't even remember how we made it.
Only one person that can speak on TKART, and that person is you.
Since Bell joined the Racing Force Group, so from 2019, what has changed in terms of productions and sales?
A lot. Let's start with a lot had changed. First of all, since 2019, being a group, a company by itself, you have limitation of team, of financial limitation, and when two big historical brands join forces, and in the world of motorsport, you have a lot of common dealers distribution, and you have, at the end of the day, teams that are at OMP doing the job and at Bell doing the job. And when you join forces, you have two teams that could join forces and do a bigger job. So it helped a lot to move with sales, as much as Bell brought a lot to OMP, OMP brought a lot to Bell, and which made a good boost in sales. This automatically have been transformed and increase in manufacturing. And if today you look at the numbers since we moved the factory to Bahrain back in 2015, and then if you look at 2019, we doubled. And then if you look today, we are above tripled, if I not say quadrupled. So this have steered the whole manufacturing into a different. And then, increasing manufacturing is not saying, today I produce one helmet, tomorrow I produce two. No. There is increase in employees. Staff, we were below 200. Today, the manufacturing in Bahrain is around 450 plus, growing still. And it's growing due to the needs and to the market needs. And these are mainly the two. Also, there is a lot, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of synergies when a lot of companies join together as forces. Yes. So this also have changed a lot. It's very positive. But at the same time, there is also some points where adaptation of the team, feeling part of the team, those are minor negativities, but also are part of the things that have changed, There is at that time the OMP team, there is the Bell team, and our task as manager is to bring those teams to become the Racing Force team. And it doesn't happen overnight. You will have a lot of resistance, people doesn't like change, and you will need to work on that. So as much as there is positivities, there was minor negativities, but you turn those negativities into positivity with the years to come. And this is why, if you were to say 2019 till today, this have been overcome, and this is where you see the Racing Force Group.
How many helmets do you produce each year, and how many people do you have in the factory?
So we have over 450 staff in Bahrain today, 39 different nationalities, all under the same roof. We have a very big percentage of Bahrainization because we're in Bahrain and we have a lot of local that works for us. But at the same time, due to talent and requirements, we do have other nationalities. So we have a huge amount of nationalities, 450 plus people, and we manufacture more than 50,000 helmets a year.
Oh, there.
So it's a very big amount. Don't forget as well that we also manufacture mini helmet. So mini helmet is a very big part of our manufacturing, which is part of collectibles. And we also have to manufacture accessories to meet the helmet requirements.
Connecting with the mini helmets, looking behind, we have a wall, maybe 400 mini helmets.
It is 400 plus, I believe it's not mistaken, 453. It is the biggest collection, or maybe Bahrain has the bigger collection, but but it is the biggest collection on display today, and it's an impressive job with all these colors, the different drivers' years, and it's a collectible wall that talks of itself. It's a dream in any person to have it in their house, I believe.
So tell me about this project, because when did you start to sell this mini helmet and how many do you sell?
The mini helmet is a product that was created by Bell Helmets back in the early 2000, and then this project and invention started by us with Stefan taking the initiative of creating that product, and they used to be painted one by one.
Oh, there.
So this is how it started, and then the business grew, the demand grew. In reality, it's a very well representation of your fan driver or the driver you follow. It also did not only grew into the fan business, but it also grew into the collectible. And collectible are not specially people who follows Formula One. They are collectible, and they might collect it for investment or different reason. And this is how this business also grew. And at the same time, knowing that it is produced in the same assembly line and manufacturing line of the real helmet for safety, using the same component and raw material and made by the same technical craftsmanship. And this is what brings to this table that the product is an exact replica of the real one with scale half and brings it to the quality it is. And if you take a big helmet and a small helmet, scale 1-1 and scale 1-2, it is 100% equal to each other in terms of design. And the business have grown, and today we produce around 200 different models a year, because we do have the public product that we sell on our Bell collectible website and that we sell to teams, drivers and distributor. But at the same time, we do have private orders where any financial institution or company can order it under their own name as a private product. So this what brought the product to not only grow in motorsport, but also grow into the sponsors of motorsport, or people that wants to relate a memorabilia or a gift to their customer with safety. Because at the end of the day, putting a helmet on a table is a safe product. It's showing kind of a safety. And sometimes financial institution or banks or want to show we are safe, invest with us, or it's a sign of safety, and this is where they use it. And at the end of the day, also when you give a mini helmet as a gift, everyone will end up putting it or on their desk on a shelf. It will be always on display, so you're going to have a continuous marketing. So it's a very good product for that purpose. We have it also under our collectible website, which is doing very well into that.
So the making process for a normal helmet and a mini helmet is the same?
Yes. We don't have the testing and the fire test,
yeah, of course,
and all the requirements, and you don't wear it, so there's a lot of those are not the same, but the rest, the manufacturing, yes, indeed, it's the same.
And how much craftsmanship is still involved in the production of a Bell helmet?
More than 80%. Today, a helmet, it's handmade. We use machinery as tools. We don't use the machinery as a machine that does the job from A to Z. So there are support and to enhance and to make it more accurate or easier. But we have not reached a point that we replace human. Today, the main product is produced by human. Even if there is machineries, they are still 100% required. And it's due to the business manufacturing of that product itself, and still it is required. And it's labor intense. I mean, it's not due to the shape, due to the specification, due to the requirements. It's still very much labor intense. We use a lot of side solution to support, but more than 80% is still labor intense.
Can you tell us all the steps in the factories of the helmet from first step to the last one?
First of all, you should know that Bell Helmets is a company that manufactures every component of the helmet in-house. We are not an assembly line. We are not a manufacturer that purchases all the raw material or the semi-finished goods and bring them into the table and we assemble them. No, a manufacturer that is divided into several manufacturing that doesn't even fit with each other and having them everyone on the same roof and manufacturing all the components and then sending them to our final assembly line and ring. And to manufacture a product, we divide the product into two. So we divide the interior and the exterior. So the interior, first steps is you have EPS, EPP, EPO, so polystyrene or polypropylene, which are beads that you purchase. Then you need to expand those beads. After expansion, you need to inject them into the shape and the density and the model that you need. So knowing that we have a big range of product, we might have more than 1,000 of different pieces. Then you need to quality control, curing, quality control again, assembling that product. And after, there is on parallel a lining department that will be cutting the fabric, cutting the foam, sewing the fabric to the foam, preparing all the pieces for that product, and then introducing those lining product to the liner itself. So from a technical liner, which serves as the technical part, you need to make it comfortable with fire retardant to be able to fit the head. And then those two parts are manufactured in parallel with the chin strap, which follows the same. And then you create this interior kit. The shell is mainly what takes the most of the factory, where you need to cut the composite material, fiberglass, carbon fiber, depending on the model we're talking about. You nest them, you cut them, and then we create a kit. It's sent to the lamination department, where we laminate on a mold and cure them at high temperature, high pressure. And then once they're out, quality control. Of course, we quality control as well the kit. In every step, there is a quality control. I'm not going to repeat it, but in every step, there is a quality control check. And there is an ERP to follow the history and the SKU of each product, because every birth of a product has a single number that represents the data of that number, and has the data and follows who quality control it, which date. It has the full data. So we have very much data cleared on that. Then after curing, quality control, and then here the product is full but has excess material, so you need to trim the excess material, drill the vents. You have the vents from the front, the vents from the top, so it takes all that drilling. And then you need to sand it, give it some putty, sand it again, primer, sand again, perfection. So it's a very manual, intense work. And then you go to the last layer of clear coat or white, depending on which color you're painting that product. Quality control, and then you transfer it to the final assembly line. And this is where the shell will meet the liner, and once you introduce the liner inside the shell, it will become a helmet. At the same time, all the stickers, decals, anything that you see on our box, on the helmet that sticks or is printed in-house. We have our own printing company that produce all the printings for us in-house. On the other side, everything that you see made from plastic on the helmet, from the tear-off buttons, the brake washer, you name it, air intakes, spoiler, are or thermoformed or plastic injected in-house. The visors at the same time processed in-house with anti-fog system and all the components. So it's a full operation in-house, from injection, thermoforming, laminating, preparation of the shell, lining, and you have those small factories inside the big factory of 12,000 square meter based in Bahrain.
And what is the most complex part of this entire process?
I mean, every job is complex in itself, but if I were to choose something that is maybe a little bit more complex, I believe what needs a little bit more hard work, the preparation of the shell, because it's human intense. It's still very, let me say, basic from terms of technologies. There was improvements, but still, to make the proper job, you're still very product intense. And if I say that, maybe this could help for cutting a little bit the manufacturing time, we do spend a couple, 3-4 days in that process. So this is something complex. Now, as I said, every step is complex, because you need to follow the process, the policy, and any job, I mean, life is complex by itself, I mean, so it doesn't make it easy at all, but this is it.
Talking about the materials, what recent innovations has changed the way helmets are built?
I mean, in the past you used to be able to produce an F1 helmet with fiberglass, and this has started changing back in the mid and 90s, and we started introducing new material, where this is where the creation of having carbon introduced or Kevlar introduced, and then latest 2000 you started canceling and not even using F1 helmet or the HP 8860 certification helmet, fiberglass, and you move more into the aramid fibers or full carbon helmets. And this is where the big transition of the industry. But today also you have a lot of new technologies, of new material, and we're still evolving. And our job is, we do of course freeze the product and produce it as per the requirement and per the tested product, but we have a research and development, because this is where we believe that you need to keep on improving, and this is where we have a technical department working on continuously on finding, researching new material, new ways of safety, and keep on improving the product. But if you look from the 80s till today, the curve between what the bodies of motorsport are doing and the homologation bodies, and everyone is improving safety, and this is key. And today we are an organization that produce safe gear, and this is our primary slogan, to be working around that and make sure that we are delivering as much as we can the safest product.
Is there a part of a step of the process, of the production process that represent the essence of Bell's helmet? I mean, for you, there is a secret behind Bell's products?
It's not a question of a secret. It's maybe the way you want to. What is your target, or your what keeps you, your motto to keeps on going? And if maybe I understand your question, is that the motto is very clear. We identify ourselves as a research and development company with the manufacturing capacity. So for us, we need to keep on evolving, we need to keep on researching, we need to keep on improving our product. We know that aesthetic is very important, but for us, technicality comes first, safety comes first, and we do not compromise any of those based on an aesthetic. So if today you might not have the most attractive product, we don't really care about that. What we care is about, we should have the most safe product, and we should never think that we compromise. So this is the way our motto is there. Of course, you need sales, you need marketing, and you need to try to add up once you are convinced with the aesthetic and move on. But the Bell history has a specific shape, have a specific line, and this we try to follow and improve and evolve with facelift and improvement and moving forward. And you can see on our catalog that there is a main line, and you have also some different lines to also keep the market very much in like, and because as a human we are not alike, we don't like the same things, and you need to also accommodate all the needs with all the series. And simply on your hand you have 5 fingers and they look 5 differently, so everyone think differently, and you need to keep on evolving to make the things, but never this first. What comes first is safe technically and the quality product, and then the rest, the aesthetic follows.
Why was Bahrain chosen as the production location?
Why not? Did you ever go to Bahrain?
No, never.
It's the best country in the world, simply said. Bahrain is a very special country for me, and very special for Bell for several main reasons. Back in the early 2000s, Mr. Cohen wanted to move out from Asia for several reasons, which were, not being able to move material from around the world to Asia, because not all the raw material used to come from Asia, the labor used to come from Asia, as well as the communication between engineers that were not Asian and the people not wanting to move and live in Asia, as well as the increase in labor cost, the increase in bureaucracy, the taxes, and several points that were in the case at that time. And we wanted also exposure. We wanted that the driver, once they travel, to visit the factory, to be able to discover how the Bell helmets are made, and be able to visit in a country that has exposure with motorsport. So we wanted to be next to a track. So once you start going to the map at that time and looking at where there is a track, where you can have multinational living in the same countries, with finding the best tax scheme for them, with the best school for their kids, with having the exposure on the track, you start reducing a lot your choices. And then Bahrain on the map is in the center of the world if you look at it. It's a very small country, but at the same time has a lot. It has a lot of free trade agreements, so we went there for the free trade agreement. It had the free trade agreement with Switzerland. It has free trade agreement with the US, which brings a lot of support, knowing that we sell a very big percentage of our product to the US market. It has no tax for the employees. It has a proper banking system, a very good import-export hub. You are also very well supported. We had grants, we had support from the government to invest in their country and get support from able to reach several nationalities good labor, as well as we are next to the Bahrain International Circuit. We have the exposure. We're walking distance, and all that makes added to the equation that we are there. And all our engineers that were Italian, European, or whoever at that time wanted to come to Bahrain because for them it's a country that always smiles. Your sun is always there. You're an island on top of the sea. It's not raining like today. In my opinion, it makes a very big difference for the people to be happy. And I believe it's a very happy country to be in, and most important is that they're happy and working, because you cannot work in a bad environment.
Of course.
We had this, mainly the most important is that you needed a country to be able to put everything you had and not having dispatch, because we were dispatched before that. And you also need to make sure that you can have it all. So it's not easy. You need to do compromise. And we find that this is the best for Bell, and we've been there for now 11 years.
And do you remember the first days, the beginning of operation in the factory?
Yes. I don't know how we made it. I don't know how we reached.
What are the challenges? What were the challenges?
Everywhere. There was not one. There was like so many. I mean, it is very easy to take a decision that you're going to move a factory from place A to country B, or country A to country B. But when you start, it was like, I remember. Mainly the challenges beginning before moving is people who doesn't want you to move. They're happy in their country. They don't want, and they didn't lose their job because everyone was moved to Bahrain. Everyone that was working everywhere moved to Bahrain, or was given the chance to move with Bahrain with so many different packages. But the point is that the challenge first is to convince them, give them the trust, because they don't know Bahrain. Second is to start the move, and you end up with so many tasks, and you at the same time need to make it happen, and then teaching, explaining to people is that producing a helmet, because we didn't hire, there doesn't exist in the world of the helmet manufacturing that we ever hired someone that was working in a helmet manufacturing before. It's not like in a restaurant you hire a waiter that was working in restaurant B to restaurant C. This doesn't happen. So everyone is a training. You need to train them, you need to invest in training, and then they will be who you want them to be in 1 year or 2 years or even 3. So it's a transition. But the challenges, they are like any business challenge, but sometimes Stefan and I, we look back and we say, we don't even remember how we made it. We know it is made, but how it's like, I believe the human brain works sometimes in favor of you, so you don't remember, so you can redo it again, but
75 of Formula 1 drivers have a helmet. So what kind of impact the technology from racing like top level Formula 1 have on the ones drivers that use it in karting, for example, so of the basic of the motorsport?
Today 75% of the grid of F1, but as well there is in general more than 65 to 70% of the rest of the series that use it. In my opinion, people follow their idols. It gives a lot of push for the brand from a marketing standpoint. It also proves that it is used by the best, and it also showed that we're a serious head protection manufacturer, which is the main intention for us, and we don't forget our motto. Yes, marketing sales is very important, and this is what keeps the business ongoing, to keep on investing on research and development, but at the same time it's for us it brings a lot of confidence that the best are convinced that it is their safety product of choice, and it brings support to the start of karting industry. Now, the karting industry is also a different world because it's the start of the racing, so you need to be also investing there and educating your young drivers, young racers for the future of their career. And the challenges are also a little bit different because you are not discussing with mature, you're discussing with kids, and it's the same as you speak with our kids or so. But yeah, it is also as challenging as it is, and this is the job that we need to do from terms of sales, marketing, and education of the floor. But for sure, having support from the top do support the startup.
Do you have some replicas helmet like Lando Norris, like Charles, that
this is also
they are liveries for karting drivers? So is a successful market for you?
Yeah, it is. We started that collaboration with the F1 drivers since a couple of years. It's also something new that Bell came with to give to the kids. We give them a mini helmet. They can buy access to the mini helmet. They can buy a T-shirt. They can buy those kinds of memorabilia. But they always dream to have a product linked to their idol driver, and we came up with this idea, and it worked with the collaboration of the driver, and we managed to have those replica, design, and we call them, it's a karting helmet inspired by the design of Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, even Senna with the Senna brand, and etc. And those have been very, very successful, increased sales, and they like them because they can wear something very related to their idol, and the kids love that. Next year we're going to have a new design of Lewis, and even we're going to have it in matte, this time for the first time, a karting helmet in matte finish. But we wanted to really give this category the product, the same way of the real product, because Lewis does wear his helmet in matte, so I'm sure it's going to be a successful product.
Professionally, you come from the world of hotel industry, no?
Yes.
So do you see any connection with this current world of the motorsport?
Yeah, there is a lot of common. Management in general doesn't matter in the industry you are from. You need to manage in the same way, and I'm someone who believes a lot in the team, and the success of the team is the success of the organization, and I always put first the team. But also you need to guide them, lead them to do that, and the best is with processes and policies and common sense. I always also believe in common sense. There is mainly in the hospitality, they always have that motto of saying the customer is king, and also in the hospitality they say that the customer is king, and also in motorsport you also need to follow the racer wants and meets his needs. You don't have safety components, kind of, but you still have to follow a lot of safety in a hospitality business, and liabilities and stuff. So in general, if I were to make a table with having those main point, they equal each other. And the main success for me as an individual into the motorsport industry is that I haven't entered it from, because if I go back one step, in the hospitality, I went for the whole steps of hospitality, and before reaching the management. So I earned my role as a manager because I knew exactly how every step was to be made from working and learning. And I reached that point. In regards to motorsport, I have reached directly as a manager, but I don't know how it is made. So for me to be able to reach where I am today, and thanks to Mr. Cohen, is that I have spent a big amount of time, a year almost, back in 2014, to learn how to manufacture a helmet. Before moving to Bahrain and before that, and then Bahrain startup helped a lot, and it made me who I am today, but adding the knowledge of how the product is made helps you manage better and understand, because when you know how it is made, if you know how you paint that table here, then if your painter didn't paint it well, you know why. But if you don't know why as a manager, you can only say it's not good, but you don't have solution. You don't bring any proactive or productive solution on the table, or you don't even create a communication, which creates a frustration with your painters, because he's not talking at someone at the technical level as him. I am not at the technical level as my painter, but I understand the procedure, I understand the knowledge that can bring me to a conversation to be able to be proactive, productive, and reach to a point. And this is where the key point in the manufacturing today of motorsport and to where it built. And this is something I learned from the hospitality, that if I wanted to be how I was in hospitality in motorsport, I needed to bring myself to the first level of manufacturing, learn how it is made by my own hands before I be able to lead people of how it is made. And this is the main important.
Last question, promise. What was your first impression, your first feeling when you arrived in this motorsport world?
I was a kid that dreamed that one day I would like to work in motorsport. So I started the early 90s watching Formula One, going into rallies and being a marshal. Following the rallies in Lebanon, especially as a marshal. And I loved motorsport. I used to also, on an amateur, train as a go-kart, try to drive, also tried a couple of rally cars. But I'm an amateur driver, but it's my passion. And I never missed a race since back in the 90s, watching F1 and even other series. And I always dreamed one day I will be on the paddock or be working in an F1 team. And when I started working in hospitality, first in finance, then in hospitality, I said maybe this dream is gone. And in reality, I believe that the dreams are never gone, because the dream in life are your targets, that in your back there in your brain, you don't see them as your target, but they are there. And indirectly you are working towards them without knowing, and sooner or later they will come. And I'm a person who dreams, and I'm a continuous dreamer, and I believe that with dreams you will always reach your target, because the dreams are the target, and this is how you keep on moving. And this is how I see things. So I don't know if I answered your question, but this is this is where I am today. My dream came true. And I'm working in motorsport. I'm not working for an F1 team. I'm happier working for Racing Force Group. I enjoy what I do. There is a lot of stress, but a lot of passion. There is a lot of work, but you decide how life is, and life is stressful by itself, with or without work. You're a human. At the end of the day, nothing pleases you. You want everything more and more. So, you just need to find the balance between happiness and negativity, let's say. And when you're at 0.0 or 0.1, this is maybe for me the ultimate happiness. I don't like the happiness at 5, nor at -5. I like it when you're into 0.2, where you can have the negative and the balance, because this is where you're growing, in my opinion.
So, closing this interview, what is your best helmet? Of course, best helmet. Which driver do you prefer?
I like them all. Everyone for a specific point, not everyone for everything. I'm a very big fan of several drivers. And I don't see the drivers, honestly, mainly of what I see them on TV or what any fan could see them on TV. I maybe more see them as the human part of them, not the racer part of them. And I evaluate which one I like more, maybe because I have more discussion with them or nice moments, and I evaluate them as I evaluate friends or let me say, not friends in reality, but like I evaluate people who I meet. I might meet you, you're a nice guy because I met and discussed with you. So this is how I evaluate them, but I'm not going to give you an answer of which one in particular, because there is a lot of them based on specific moments and based on specific discussions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.